Target, America's favorite retail therapy center where you walk in for toothpaste and walk out questioning your entire financial discipline while holding a candle that smells like emotional stability. Because somewhere between the dollar spot and the home decor section, your bank account sent you a notification, and your brain said, "Not now." Target isn't a store. It is a behavioral psychological experiment optimized to separate you from your financial mobility while making you feel classy for doing it. Because while Walmart across the street feels like a side quest, Target feels like you're doing better in life, even though your bank account strongly disagrees. And the worst part, people love this store with a level of loyalty that most religions would envy. There's no other retailer where customers describe a completely unplanned $200 spending spree with the same energy as a spa day. My sisters, that's not shopping, that's a coping mechanism sponsored by debt. Welcome to Target, where they turned just grabbing one thing into a full-blown financial event. Before Target became the aesthetic headquarters of, "I didn't need this, but it felt right," it was just a regular store. It started in 1962, Minneapolis, Minnesota, a discount department store owned by the Dayton Company, the same people behind a very boring, very respectable department store chain that had been quietly profitable since 1902. The pitch was really simple: sell everyday essentials at affordable prices in a clean, organized, and slightly less depressing environment. Which at the time, this was revolutionary. Most discount stores felt like you were shopping inside a warehouse that had recently given up on itself. For like 2 decades, Target was fine. Nothing special, just another place your mom went to buy socks in bulk. But then, in the 1990s, while Walmart was doubling down on generational low prices, Target made a different bet. What if we don't just sell products? What if we sell vibes? And that decision, my friend, is where everything gets interesting and expensive, for you specifically. So they partnered with designers, not inspired by designers, but real credentialed fashion world designers like Michael Graves, who turned $5 kettle into cultural moment. Their goal was simple: make everything look just premium enough to trigger your dopamine to get you thinking. This isn't spending, this is investing. At this point, you're not just buying product, you're buying aspirations. Because when you start selling an identity, the price tag becomes a suggestion. And once they figured out how to sell you a feeling, they mastered the next step, which is making sure you never leave with just one item. Target realized early, if you keep the floors white, play upbeat indie music, and make the aisles wide enough for a double stroller to perform a U-turn, people will happily pay a 30% more for the exact same band of Tide Pods they could get at Walmart for less. You think you're going to Target for one thing. You are not. You're entering a carefully engineered behavioral obstacle course designed to test your impulse control. Have you ever noticed the things you actually need to stay alive, water and groceries, are hidden in the furthest, darkest corners of the building? You don't walk straight to the milk, you wander, you pass through seasonal items, throw pillows for absolutely no reason, and you suddenly develop this inexplicable urge to live, laugh, and love. My dad went to Target 25 years ago. He might still be somewhere between home decor and dairy. That's not a design flaw, it's optimized disorientation. By the time you reach the milk section, you've already made 4 emotional purchases. You're not on a Target run, you're on a sensory experience for the middle class. From the moment you walk in, right at the entrance, the most dangerous place in the entire store, the dollar spot, a graveyard of plastic optimism, $1 holiday eraser here, a $3 notepad there, a $5 item that is completely unnecessary, feel basically free, but collectively destroy your entire budget. You don't even question it. You just throw things in the cart like, "Oh, that's cute. I might need this." The moment you let your guard down and you can't survive the first 30 feet of the store without touching something, you're doomed. Then there's the seasonality machine. Target has a section for every season, holiday, trend, and cultural moment approximately 6 weeks before it arrives. Back to school in July, Halloween in September, Christmas in October, Valentine's Day immediately after Christmas. You come in for toilet paper in August and walk out with a $22 cozy fall starter kit. And the rotation? That's the real trap. That candle you loved last spring? Gone. Why? Because the store you walked into last month is a completely different store today. By the time you reach the back of the store, your cart is filling up faster than your self-control is emptying. And you haven't even hit the checkout aisle yet. For some reason, in human history, stores decided to put an aisle right at checkout filled with random accessories, mints, snacks, a phone charger you suddenly need, last-minute items designed to catch you when your decision-making ability already checked out. Here's the uncomfortable truth behind this red-logoed financial ambush zone. Target's entire business model was built on a very specific consumer, someone with enough disposable income to buy nice-ish things at not quite cheap prices. You walk past the kitchen section and suddenly you're not just buying containers, you're buying a future where your fridge is organized, your meals are prepped, and your life is in order. When you pick up a candle, you're not just lighting a room, you're creating an environment, a vibe, a personality. Target figured out something very dangerous. People don't buy what they need, they buy the person they're trying to become. So every aisle becomes a different identity. The organized adult, the I drink lemon water and journal Mao version. And the craziest part, none of it is expensive enough to question, but it's all intentional enough to justify. You're not overspending, you're just investing in yourself. And just when you think you've made it out, Target hits you with one final offer. Do you want to save 5% today on the $200 you didn't plan on spending? 5%, the most powerful number in retail psychology, because suddenly you're not spending money anymore, you're saving it. All you have to do is sign up for the Target card, a quick application, a few personal details. Nothing crazy, just your name, your email, your spending habits, your location, and your entire personality. Because now Target doesn't just know what you bought, they know what you almost bought, what you looked at, and how they'll sell it back to you next week. This is where it gets interesting. With enough data, they can predict when you're about to have a midlife crisis, based on the fact that you just bought 3 yoga mats and a tub of Midnight Raven hair dye at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. In some cases, Target knows things you haven't even told your own family yet. Like one time where Target's algorithm famously predicted a teen was pregnant before her own father knew. That's not a loyalty program, that's a discounted prophecy. And once a store understands you this well, it doesn't need to convince you anymore. You will start convincing yourself. So is Target a scam? Of course not. Scams are for people with no imagination. This is just a perfectly engineered system that understands you better than you understand yourself. Because Target doesn't force you to spend. It just creates the perfect environment for you to convince yourself to hand over your wallet. You walk in for toothpaste and walk out with a lifestyle priced at exactly $147 more than you planned to spend and a cart full of intentions. You didn't fail your budget never stood a chance. This has been CynicaLab, where we take everyday conveniences and zoom out until they start looking a little too expensive. And hey, subscribe, it's completely free, which is a concept Target is struggling to understand.